Hello students, welcome to all these for the classes. So today I will be taking chapter 5 from class 6 CBSE Board Science, that is separation of substances. This is the part 1 of this chapter. We shall be dealing with some of the introduction I will be giving you regarding separation, what is basically separation and some day-to-day life. Then we shall see about substance, what is a substance. Substances are of two types, pure and impure substances. We will discuss for that. Then we will see how impurities come in a substance, and mixture we will also see. That is, our impure substance is also called as mixture. Pure or impure substance. So impure substance is called mixture. So homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, we shall be seeing two types of mixture. Then we will see what does separation means, what is the process of a separation, need of separation and the principles of separation. Then we shall deal with different methods of separation, what are the different methods which are used for separation of substances. Okay, so let's start with a little introduction. So in our daily life also, separation techniques are being done. Okay, so in daily life there are many instances in our life when we notice a substance being separated from a mixture of material. Okay, suppose there is a mixture of material. Okay, mixture of materials में it can be anything. When your mother makes tea, what does she do? She strains the tea leaves and the liquid separately in the cup. In case of tea leaves and liquid tea, these both are separated. Is it separation of both has been done using a strainer? So one example is this, in a mixture of materials when it is being separated. Then next comes grains. You must have seen different grains. Your mother used to pick the stones and all other things and separate the grains. Any pulse can be there or anything. Okay? Next, if you see milk or curd, so what is that? From this, butter is being separated. Okay? Similarly, if you see a cotton, so cotton is being separated from the seeds of its fiber. Okay? So like this, in our day-to-day life, there are thousands of examples which we come across where separation is being done. In all these, separation is being done. This tea example, so I think everybody will be aware that we use a are given. By picking out grains one by one, you can't separate that sand, can't pick it by your hand. So if such condition comes where you can't pick the substances, they are so small in size from your hand, what do we do? Okay, so we need what? We need some technique, okay, to separate these substances, okay. So some useful components are there, we need to separate, and similarly these substances, those are very small in size, need to be separated, okay. So this separation can be of any kind. It can be a solid to solid separation, solid and liquid separation, gaseous separation, or any kind of separation it can be, okay. So we have to separate substances that are mixed together if they have so many different properties, okay. So these materials can be any, it can be solid and solid, it can be solid and liquid, okay, it can be liquid and liquid, okay, it can be a liquid and gas, or if suppose you are given two gas like nitrogen and sulfur, you are given and you have to separate both of them, that separation can also be done, gas and gas, okay. So like this separation can be of anything. Here if you see tea leaves are solid, tea is a liquid, so solid and liquid separation has been done. Milk में से butter निकाले, okay, cotton में से seeds निकाले, solid and solid separation is being done. So like this there can be any condition, any kind of separation can be, it could be solid to solid, it can be solid and liquid, liquid and liquid, liquid and gas and gases, okay. So now the question is that the substances to be separated may be the particles that are different in size. Sometimes it can be big, sometimes it can be small, okay. Sometimes you have to separate only a small quantity of substance, sometimes there is a huge stack. So all of them you can't separate like this, okay. So in this chapter I shall be dealing with different separating techniques. Before that we shall study a little about substances, okay. So substances are of two types, okay. Substances can be pure or it can be a mixture. Fine. So what is a pure substance? Substances that contain only one type of particles, constituent particles are only one type. That is a pure substance. So all the elements and compounds that we are going to study in bigger classes are pure substances, okay. So pure substances are what? Substances that contain one type of constituent particles. For example, you can take iron. Iron is made up of only iron. Copper is there. Okay. Some water or some salts are there. So it is made up of one type of constituent. Next comes mixture. Mixture is a mixture is a material made up of two or more different substances. Okay, two or more different substances are mixed together. Okay, which are mixed but are not combined chemically. They are not combined chemically that you cannot separate them, but they are mixed together. Okay, two or more particles are mixed together but not combined chemically. So this is what? This is mixture. So substances can be pure or it can be a mixture. Pure substances that contain one type of constituent particles. Okay, mixtures, they contain two or more and are mixed together but not combined chemically. Okay, so this was about substances. Now what is impurities? So impurities are unwanted particles present in the substance making it impure. Okay, if in any substance a particle is present that makes it impure and that is unwanted, there is no need of that substance, that is called impurities. So impurity are unwanted particles okay present in a substance which makes it impure. Okay, which making it impure. Okay. Now next we will see mixtures. I have already discussed you. Their substances are of two types: pure substance and a mixture. So a mixture is made up of one or more than one component that can be in any ratio. Okay, so there is a mixture of air is mixed with many gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, dust particles, etc. Now these mixtures, they are of two types: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Okay, so mixture is of two types: homogeneous mixture and a heterogeneous mixture. Okay, now as the name see, homo means similar and hetero means different. Okay, so the mixture in which particles of the substances present cannot be seen are called homogeneous mixture. Means same type of particles are present. Okay, so the mixture in which particles of the substances substance. It means that these particles, they cannot be seen or cannot be distinguished. Different particles cannot be seen or distinguished. Okay, so this type of particles are called homogeneous mixture. Homo, same type of particles. Okay, so example you can say solution of sugar. If you make a sugar solution with a water, can you see sugar separately and water separately? No, it gets fully dissolved in it. It mixes well and gets fully dissolved. You can't see it. Okay, so example is sugar and water solution. Okay, if you dissolve sugar in water, it is going to dissolve fully. Okay, you can't see both of them separately. You can only see a water, you can't see sugar. Okay, then comes cold drink. Cold drink is having soda and so many salt is also there and so many constituents are there. So in cold drinks also, different particles of the substances cannot be seen. Okay, so this is a homogeneous mixture. Now let's come on heterogeneous mixture. What is a heterogeneous mixture? The mixture in which particles of the substances present can be seen. Okay, because the particles are of different types, different in look, different types of particles are there. So the number of particles that are present in the substances that can be seen easily. Okay, example, water and oil. If you put oil in water, you can see a separate layer of oil in water. Okay, or the dust that is in the air, although some small dust can't be seen from the naked eye, but if you see it from microscope or from hand microscope also, you can see those dust particles. Okay, so heterogeneous mixture is a mixture in which particles can be seen. So different types of particles are present. Different types of particles are present in a substance, that is a heterogeneous mixture. Next is that particles of the substances present can be seen. Particles of the substances present can be seen. Okay, example is oil and water mixture. Okay, when you put oil in a water, you can see a separate layer of oil in it. Okay, so we have seen that substances are of two types, pure and mixture. Mixture substances are further of two types, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. In homogeneous, same type of particles are present. Different cannot be seen or cannot be, particles cannot be differentiated. Okay, or cannot be distinguished. Okay, here better you write What is separation? So separation is a process of separating one or more components present in a mixture. There is a mixture which is having many components in it. Many types of particles, many types of components are present. Okay? कोई mixture है, ठीक है? Mixture में क्या होगा? Mixture क्या है? बहुत सारे components का बना हुआ है. So many components. Okay? Suppose component 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 components का बना है. So we do separation. Separation में क्या है? वो component 1 को अलग separate करना है, component 2 को अलग separate करना है, component 3 को अलग और 4 को अलग. तो ये जो process है जिसमें सारे components किसी mixture के separate किए जाते हैं, उनको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Separation. So separation is a process of separating one or more components from a mixture. Okay? Separation is a process of separating one or more components from a mixture. Okay? एक mixture है, उसमें बहुत सारे components हैं, उन components को हमें separate करना है, उसे हम क्या बोलेंगे? Separation. This is a separation. Okay? Next is why there is a need of separation. Why do you need separation? So need of separation. Okay, what is the need of separation? Why we do separation? The first thing is that we have to remove the useless or harmful components. वो components जो किसी भी mixture के जो कि ना तो हमारे किसी use के हैं या maybe वो harmful हो सकते हैं. Like what your mother do? You must have seen rice. जब आपकी mother लेती होगी तो उसमें insect आपको दिखता है. She just wash it dry with water. So that is a separation. She is separating that harmful component. Okay? So we need to remove the useless or harmful component from a mixture. We do separation because we need to obtain the useful component. हमें useful component चाहिए और unuseful वाले को useless को हटाना है. टी हमें चाहिए और टी लीव्स हटाने हैं, यूजलेस है. तो we just do the separation to obtain the useful component. To remove impurities for getting a pure sample. बहुत बार impurities होती है, बहुत सारी किसी भी component में, उनको remove करना हमें. और बहुत बार principle of separation. So the substances that are present in a mixture, they retain their original properties like their size, their density, their melting point, their boiling point, their volatility, etc. Okay? It is not like if you are separating two items. Suppose if you are staining a tea, liquid tea and tea leaves separately, you are not changing the original property of any of the element. Okay, both the original property are same. Or suppose if you have to separate guava and mango separately, you are not going to separate, you are not going to change their property like their size, their density, their melting point or any of these. Okay, so the first principle of separation is that separation should be done in such a way that the mixture retain their original properties. Okay, जो भी mixture में जितने भी components हैं वो उनकी original property रहनी चाहिए. Separation के time उनकी original property नहीं खत्म होनी चाहिए. Okay, next is that we use the differences in any one of these properties in the component of a mixture to separate them. Okay, so we use the difference in any one of these properties in the components of a mixture to separate them. Okay, so the principle of separation, the first principle is that the substances should present in a mixture should retain their original property. Retain their original properties like their size, their density, their melting point, okay, their boiling point or their volatility, etc. Okay, and the second principle is that we use the difference in any one. We use the difference in any one of these properties okay in the component of a mixture okay to separate them separately. Fine. So the substances present in a mixture should retain their original property like their size, density, melting point, boiling point, etc. Any property it can be. We use the difference in any one of these properties in their components of a mixture to separate them. Okay. Now next we shall see the method of separation, or you can say the separating techniques. What are the separating techniques are? Let's discuss different methods of separation. So there are different methods of separation: hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, segmentation, decantation and filtration and evaporation. Okay, so these methods we are going to discuss today. So one by one I will be discussing all of them. First let's see what are these methods. Hand picking, okay, let's discuss about hand picking first, then I will continue with threshing, winnowing, sieving and all. stone it can be, and husk from wheat and rice or pulses. Okay, so the first very thing about hand picking is that the size of impurity is slightly larger. Often these impurities look very different from the food items and can be spotted easily. Okay, so the impurities are that is slightly different from the food item. जो भी आपका food item है उससे impurity बहुत differ करती है. It's different and you can spot it. आपको clearly दिख जाएगा कि हाँ this one is an impurity and this is a grain or some food item. Okay, so in such situation we find that hand picking is convenient method for a separating techniques. Now let's take example. आपने देखा होगा your mother used to before cooking rice she must take the rice in a plate and she just shot out some stones are there or some any other unwanted things are there. She separate them and then she cooks rice. So what is that? That is hand picking method. Okay, so this hand picking method is used for separating impurities, separating slightly larger impurities. Okay, the impurities which are slightly larger in size, slightly larger size impurities. Okay, like example is like a dirt, it can be a stone or it can be a husk of from wheat or rice or pulses. Okay, next is that these impurities they look very different from the food item. They can be spotted easily. Okay, so hand picking is used for separating slightly larger size impurities like dirt, stone, husk from wheat, rice and pulses. These impurities they look different from the food item and can be spotted easily. Okay, now when is hand picking method used or when do we prefer hand picking? Okay, so let's see when hand picking is preferred. Hand picking is preferred when okay, so if the quantity of impurities is usually not very large. Okay, the impurities are not in much large size. They are in a small size. The quantity of impurity is in a small size. When your mother picks rice from the rice, the impurities, she gets only little bit, or sometimes even not, or sometimes only one or two stones she find. Okay, so the quantity of impurity is usually very small or usually not very large. Okay, and the unwanted substance is present in a smaller quantity. Means the unwanted substance जो है वो smaller quantity में है. So hand picking is first thing है कि quantity of a substance is small. Okay. The unwanted substance present is also in a smaller quantity. The unwanted substance present is also in a smaller quantity. Okay. The impurities or unwanted substances, their shape, size, color is very different from the useful one. The shape, size and color of unwanted substance, or you can say unwanted substance or impurity is different, is very different from that of useful one. Okay, useful one से बहुत ही different रहते हैं. और hand picking is preferred when one solid is to be separated from other solid. One solid substance is to be separated from other solid, means both of them are solid. When your mother finds a stone from a pulse or a rice, that stone is also solid and your pulse or rice is also solid from other solid. Okay, so hand picking is preferred when quantity of substance is small. Also the unwanted substance present is also in a smaller quantity. The shape, size and color of unwanted substance is very different from that of useful substance. One solid substance is to be separated from the other solid, means solid to solid separation is done. Okay. So this was about hand picking. Next method of separation is threshing. So the next method is threshing. Second is okay. So you must have seen bundles of wheat or paddy stalks lying on a field. कभी तो आपने देखा ही होगा कि wheat या paddy के बहुत सारे stalks हैं जो कि field में एक stalk बना के रखा हुआ है. Okay, after harvesting the crop, the farmers they keep it like that. Then these stalks are dried in the sun before the grain is separated from that. Okay, उसमें से grain को separate करने से पहले उस stalk को अच्छे से dry किया जाता है sun में. उसके बाद जो grain है, that is the edible part, is being separated. Each stalk has got thousands or hundreds of, you can say, grains in it. Okay, the edible ones. So one may pluck mango, orange and all. Okay, but plucking a grain from a stalk is not easy. Okay, one cannot pluck the grains from these stalks. It's just impossible. Can you imagine if how somebody can pick stalk. No, it is just impossible. So how does the farmers, they separate grain sheaves from these bundles of stalk? Okay, so there this method of threshing is used. Okay, I hope you must have understand that in wheat और paddy के stalks को harvesting के बाद field में रखा जाता है, then it is being dried up in the sun, उसको धूप में खूब अच्छे से सुखाते हैं. Now these farmers, they have to separate the grains from it. So that grains picking from hand is not possible, it is just impossible. So a method is used that is called threshing for separating the seed grains, or you can say the edible parts, from the bundle of stalks. Okay, so the process that is used to separate grains or the edible part from the stalks, husk and chaff is called threshing. Okay, this is called threshing. So the process that is used to separate grains from stalks, husk and chaff is called threshing. What is chaff? I would like to tell you, these chaffs are the pieces of the straw, or you can say some waste material of agricultural process. कुछ straw के pieces होते हैं, वो या तो कोई waste material है agricultural process के duration, उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Chaff. Okay, so in this process these stalks, they are beaten to free them from the grains, or sometimes they are separated with the help of a machine or from bullocks. Okay, so threshing, the process that is used to separate grains. So these grains are the edible part, okay, from stalks or from husk or chaff, okay, is called threshing. Okay, so the process that is used to separate grains from stalks, husk and chaff is called threshing. So in this process, the stalks are beaten to free them from grains. The stalks are beaten to free them from grains. Okay, or sometimes machine is used. Machine is also used, or bullocks can be used. Okay, bullocks are also used. Okay, so how the separation is done? The stalks are beaten. Beating is done to free them from grains, or sometimes machine is used, or sometimes bullocks are being used. Okay, so this was about threshing. Next we shall see winnowing. So the next method of separation is winnowing. So even when we have seen hand picking and threshing, we have already seen that even when threshing is done, some husk or some chaff, they are still being attached to the grain sheaves. Okay, and since the size of the two quantities are so smaller than that, neither hand picking can work nor threshing can work. So there comes another method of separation, that is winnowing. Okay, so winnowing is used to separate heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing any kind of air. So in winnowing, mostly both the components are smaller in size. Only the difference is that some is lighter and some is heavier. Okay, so on that basis, the separation is being done of heavier and lighter components of a mixture by using wind or by blowing a wind. Okay, so this method is commonly used by the farmers to separate lighter husk particles, okay, from these. As we know that the seed grains are heavier and the husk particles are lighter in weight. So the heavy and light both are being separated in such cases. Okay, so the husk particles are carried out by the wind. The seed and the grain sets are separated and a heap near the platform for the winnowing. Okay, so the separated husk is then used for many purposes, such as used as a fodder for the cattle. Okay, so winnowing, in winnowing we can define that winnowing is a method to separate, okay, to separate heavier and lighter components of a mixture okay, heavier and lighter components of a mixture that can be done either by wind or by blowing air. Okay, so is a method to separate heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing air. So in this method, husk is being separated. Husk is separated from food grains. Okay, and this husk which is being separated by the food grain, this husk is used as fodder for cattle. Is used as a fodder for cattle. Okay, so like this there are many methods. After winnowing there are other many methods that we shall be discussing in my part 2 of this video, part 2 of this chapter. Okay, so here I end up with winnowing only. We have seen 3 methods: threshing, hand picking and winnowing. Next all the methods will be discussed in another video. So this was all for today. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you like it, please give a like button, and if you have not subscribed our channel All These Followers, please do subscribe it, because we upload videos daily. So you will be for being updated, you need to subscribe our channel. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching my video.